Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Crew Inland Empire's Coffee Break. I'm NoRhett Walls, Crew Inland Empire Chapter President. Today we are talking with Lauren Slatinsky. I totally butchered your last name again, and I apologize, and Taylor Bertrand from Cultura. So Lauren is responsible for leading the Cultura team to ensure we consistently exceed our clients' expectations. Lauren believes the measure of any Cultura project depends on its ability to benefit the client's long-term objectives. She takes a keen interest in understanding what drives her clients' businesses. Using this knowledge, she advocates solutions throughout the conceptualization and implementation that keeps clients' goals and objectives at the forefront. So welcome, Lauren. Thank you for being here. We also have Taylor Bertrand with us today with Cultura. Taylor is always looking forward. You can be sure Taylor is one step ahead in exploring new ideas. She is an expert at assimilating all details to quickly envision a cutting-edge, results-driven solution for her client. Taylor will act as your consultant, facilitating the discussions and developing the strategies that will drive an imaginative thought process and move your project forward. A natural motivator, she activates the project team to produce and deliver. So welcome, ladies. I want to thank you for becoming Crew Inland Empire's newest silver affiliate with us this year. So thank you for joining and thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We will just start with some general, of course, we are so excited. We love to get to know our sponsors and those that support us, and this gives our members and people involved with our chapter an opportunity to get to know you and your company and how you guys can work together, because we really drive crew to crew business here at Crew Inland Empire. That's what we really strive for. So either one of you can take these questions or you can both respond to them however you'd like to do it. So just tell us about Cultura. How many years in the industry, your location?
Yeah, so we're just gonna make it super casual, and Taylor and I are just gonna kind of bounce off each other. And so I'll probably take this one just because I was almost at Cultura from the very beginning. So we were a part of Unisource Solutions, which is a Hayworth furniture dealership. Unisource had 3 locations. In 2017, we branched off and rebranded and became Cultura in San Diego. So we are really, what we think is we're beyond just the furniture dealer. We really, what's important to us is culture, space, creative space, really driving and understanding the business drivers of companies to potentially drive productivity, inspire culture. So we go a little bit deeper than just providing the workstation, as you can, so that's a little bit about what we do. We are a San Diego based company, but we are expanding into Inland Empire. We have a Temecula location. And so we're always been a supporter of Crew in San Diego. I'm a past president of Crew San Diego. And so as we were expanding into Inland Empire, Crew was our #1 go-to. It was so important for us to support Crew. We understand the benefits. And so that's why we're here today. So thank you. That's it. Do you want to?
That's fantastic. We love the fact that we're expanding and, with Crew, and that is so nice for you and your company. So do you want to expand on that at all? Or do you want to tell us, are you guys able to work outside of California? Because you're really a Southern California business. Do you do business in any other areas besides San Diego County, Riverside County?
We can, because there's different furniture dealerships within different cities and states and how that all works. But when we go out of state, it's because a client asks us to. We have a previous relationship with the client driven either out of San Diego or the Inland Empire. And clients ask, will you please work with us in our Virginia office, or will you work with us in our Dallas office? In that case, we do and have the capability of working outside of California, or even, Northern California, but it really needs to be driven by the client. We're not actively pursuing work outside of both San Diego and Inland Empire.
Understood. Okay. So Taylor, let me have you answer the next question for us then. So space plans. When I think about space plans and kind of what you guys are doing, I think about just everyone gets a cube, and it's, not very inviting when you come into an environment. So
Right.
tell us a little bit how you design a space like that. And then at what point do you want to get involved in a transaction? I mean, is it right a conceptual build, or is it after everybody's in the office? At what point do you guys step in?
Yeah, so we as Cultura, we and especially our sales, we like being in earlier. We think it's better. And we actually call it our swarm. So we have great relationships with brokers and general contractors and architects and design firms, and we work hand in hand with them. So when a client comes to us, or if they recommend a client to us, we like to be in early. That way that we can build the relationship with the client or whatever influencer, as we call them, is on it. And then as for space planning, we try to make it pretty fun. So when we receive a space plan from, say, a broker or a design firm, we look at it, and then when we have a meeting with the client, we ask them, is this what you want? Or is this just something that the design firm has put, furniture symbols within this plan? And most of the time it's not what they want. So that's when we use our different systems like AutoCAD and Canvas, and we sit down with our clients and have a very hands-on, one-on-one meeting with them and our design team, and go through every single aspect of that space plan. And we can change, the renderings or the layouts as they're talking. And then once we finish that, then we kind of go into picking the furniture.
I
Okay.
think it's truly
I can understand how getting you involved would.
Oh,
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's really
It's okay, Lauren, go ahead.
it's our process
Mhm.
that we can get in early. We can come in and save the day. If someone's in a bind, we can just kind of adapt to where we are in the process. But really, our goal is to get in as early as possible, because there's things like electrical coordination, floor coordination, things that if we are in early can help every single person on the team, not just the client, because we do want to ask those questions, those business drivers, to really create that space. But it's those little nitty gritty things that truly help out the general contractor, the designer, and things like that. So earlier the better.
You do need to know where you want electrical, where you need outlets, where you're going to want to put lights, etc. You need to know all that going in, because once the drywall and the walls are up and the carpet's placed, there's no cutting into that afterwards.
Nope.
So it really is important. The sooner the better, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Definitely. So tell me how COVID has changed your team's designing spaces. Are you able to use the same creative ideas and concepts, layouts, things of that nature, or have you had to change kind of everything you're doing in your design process?
So I can touch base on that, since I was kind of our designated information absorber at the beginning of COVID. So at the beginning, we didn't know what was going to happen. So we pivoted and really focused on helping our clients kind of strategize on how to come back into the workplace. So we acted more as consultants. So we looked at their floor plans. We did more or less like a social distancing floor plan and showed them, hey, if you're in a 6x6 cubicle, you're okay because you're 6 feet apart. But if they weren't comfortable with that, then we could strategize on, a group of employees coming in every 2 weeks, or a group of employees coming in every other day, and they stagger the seats. So that was at the very beginning. So we had to kind of pivot the way that we approached our clients, especially business. But now going back to normal, our business has been relatively the same, probably the last 6 to 8 months. But now we're realizing that how do we business development? How are companies feeling regarding culture and working from home and the flexibility? Because we have a lot of companies coming to us and saying, hey, we have that flexibility, but more and more of our employees are realizing that working from home is not as great as being in the office. And it really is the culture aspect. So we're seeing more and more companies come to us and asking us, how do we create that culture that we once had, along with the new flexibility that we have, and continue down the road? So it's definitely been interesting, but I think we've definitely tackled this issue pretty well.
I think what's really interesting is
It sounds like you have.
sorry. Oh, were you gonna speak? Oh, do you want me to go?
Go ahead, Lauren.
Okay. I'm sorry, it keeps cutting out, so I don't know if you're
Please.
talking or not. What I think is interesting is in the beginning, we had clients reach out to us about plastic plexiglass, what we were calling sneeze guards. Everyone wanted us to figure out how much sneeze guards would be to install them to protect their employees. And we soon found out that that is not truly what's going to keep everyone safe. Anne, our CEO, is on the Biocom task force. So we were actually speaking with scientists about how they're actually working in lab space safely. So we were able to educate our clients on really truly how to work safely within the space versus spend a ton of money on sneeze guards. So to Taylor's point, with those 6 feet of separation and X amount of people can fit in this conference room safely, and more of like a guiding consultant way. But what's really, really, really interesting is no design has truly changed. We're still designing spaces like we designed before or pre-COVID. So I think what it is, it's just the way that you utilize the space and either come in shifts or meet outside or take your existing furniture and reconfiguring it, which we did in our office. So things like that and creative ways we were kind of saying, use your culture, not your cash. So use what you have, use your culture, use your existing furniture and rearrange that and kind of take it a different adaptability to it versus a whole new office space design. So it's kind of interesting. We're not seeing any difference in design.
Mm-hmm.
So has COVID stopped or delayed a lot of projects for you, or is business moving forward? Are companies saying, wait, I want to wait, or no, continue to design for me?
I think there's a little bit of both. At the beginning, there were a lot of companies that did stop, their expansion or their movement, but a lot of the companies that we work with have been essential, and they've essentially been in their offices. So I think we've had more projects move forward than have them put to a stop.
I think that has something to do with the industry or the market sectors that we work with. And this is specifically in our experience in San Diego. So we do a ton of life science work, and those life science clients, they were essential business. They could not shut down. They couldn't wait on their, signing their new leases or expanding their space. So we as a team separated, okay, essential clients and non-essential clients. And those non-essential clients seemingly just stopped. They did not want to make any decisions. They knew they had time to wait. They knew they were fine working from home most of the time. So what we did is we really truly focused on the essential clients, getting them to their space safely, getting their orders through. And then the non-essential clients, we did really that consultative approach and sort of was helping them develop a plan when the time is right for them to get into their space. So we kind of went 2 ways. So it's kind of interesting how we had to split and differentiate the 2.
Okay. So design is a hands-on business with the help of technology. So what design programs do you guys use?
Yeah, so we use two design programs. Our first one's AutoCAD, and that's more of the 2D technical side. And that is just basically lines on a black screen. And that's where, our designers put the furniture symbols. We work with electrical walls, that sort of stuff. And then our second design program that we use is Canvas. And that is our 3D rendering product that we use. So in our live design meetings, we'll have up on the screen, our designers will have up on the screen a 2D layout and a 3D layout of our clients' floor plans. And while the client is talking, our designers are changing either the 2D or the 3D portion of our clients' plans. So they're live designing, cubicles with finishes and layouts while the clients are discussing. So those are kind of the two main programs that we use for hands-on design.
I think that's one of the biggest differentiators that we provide to our clients is we're all about efficiency, and nothing's worse than getting emails back and forth with PDF packages of circling chairs and figuring out, what we do is get everyone in a room, and we do it virtually now. We used to do it in our offices, but get everyone in a room, clients, decision makers, everyone, and live design in real time. They're making real decisions. We design to a budget. So when a client says, oh, I want that super tall, beautiful bookcase, we say, yeah, absolutely, but this is adding to your budget. So it's all about transparency and live design and efficiency. And I think that's one of our biggest differentiators.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Definitely. So what is your ideal client? You had to pick the perfect client. What would it be? How do we help you pick the perfect client?
Yeah, so kind of touching base on what Lauren said, I think since our process is so hands-on, we want to make sure that our clients are collaborative. Like they want to be working with us and see us more as a partner, not just a furniture vendor. And that's how we kind of sell ourselves too. And so our ideal client would be someone that's collaborative, has great communication, and they really focus on their company culture. We absolutely love when companies come in, they're like, hey, our employees mean everything to us. We want to create a space that makes them happy. And those are the best clients and the best projects to work on.
Yeah, and I think really we want a client that challenges us to think as well and really values what we bring and our passion. Really truly at the end of the day, we want to create spaces where people love to work. So if we can get a client that understands the importance of that and really partners with us and doesn't say, oh, to Taylor's point, not a vendor, meaning I want that table, I want that chair. It's really about the space. And when our clients really get into that with us and get into those conversations and passionate about the same things we're passionate about, which is creating a space for their employees.
So on your toughest project, how did you overcome and rise to the challenge? Can you guys tell us something that's been really challenging for you?
Do you want me to take this one?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a project. So yes, if you have one ready, go ahead.
I would think that it is challenging because furniture and space, so not just only furniture, but I mean, I'm sure designers have architectural designers have the same problem, is it's almost a personal, people kind of bring in their personality and their own personal touches. And so I think what can be challenging is, oh, I love that chair, but not that color. Or yeah, I'm just not really liking the space. And really diving in and taking the time that can be challenging in itself because sometimes they don't know what they want. But they know that they don't want that's up on the screen. So you have to really work through, right? It's just like designing your home too. It's like, I don't really like that couch, but I don't know what I like. So it's asking the right questions and really developing that relationship with the client to really, truly get out what they want and actually design it into the space that they, that's going to really capitalize too on the productivity and the culture and everything. So I think it's that balance because you can't put a ping pong table and say, oh, your employees are going to be so happy. It's so much that goes into it. And sometimes it can be a challenge, but but that's, like I said, we love clients that challenge us. So, but it could take a lot. Sometimes it can take a really long time
Mhm.
when sometimes we don't have time on our side. So.
So you both have worked on so many projects. The list that I received in the email was huge about all the incredible places that you have designed. Tell us about a couple of them.
I can speak to one I'm working on in the Inland Empire that's actually really cool. We are working with the East Valley Water District on the Sterling National Resources Center. One of my big initiatives is we like to team with general contractors on design builds, because what happens a lot of the time is general contractors are responsible for a turnkey facility, but no one's really talking to the client about that furniture that's going in there and what they want to do within the space. Everything else is kind of taken care of. And then it's like, oh gosh, we need to fill this building with furniture. So it's really one of my initiatives to get on these design build teams early and work through all of that. So I think that's been kind of the coolest project that I've been working on this year. We've teamed with Balfour Beatty, and it's really kind of developing. What's really cool about this project is it's seemingly a community space as well. So it's weddings and events, and then the actual water district occupying, and the PR team. And so it's this really kind of cool facility that incorporates all of that. And I don't know, I think it's the coolest project that I'm working on right now.
Yeah, and then for me, I work a lot with the biocom, life science, biotech companies, and that has been really rewarding, especially throughout COVID, because a lot of my clients have, kind of shifted and really focused on either creating the COVID tests or creating the the testing facilities or even the vaccines. So that's been really, really fun and beneficial to work with those type of clients and see them grow, throughout a pandemic. That's been really rewarding.
It sounds like we need to have some events at the Water District building that's coming up, and definitely take some tours of some of the projects that you guys have done, because it's incredible. And I will say, I did check out your website, and the pictures of the spaces you have designed are absolutely inviting, and it just makes you want to come to work. So it's really, really nice. So one last question for you both, and then we're going to open it up to questions for for Taylor and for Lauren. And if you want to type them in the chat box, I'll go ahead and just pull them up one by one. So last question for each of you. So what is your best advice for a young woman getting into the CRE industry in any way?
Yeah, so I'm actually relatively new to this industry. I've been in it for probably about 2.5 years, coming from right out of college into this. And my best advice would be, don't be afraid to ask questions, and definitely build those relationships within these type of organizations like crew, NAOP, that sort of stuff. I love them. I think it's a great place to network and create relationships. And I highly suggest just becoming a member of a great organization like this.
I would say, don't be afraid to try something that you're not going to be in your mind, you're not going to be 100% amazing at. I think I just think as women, or me, but as women, right, we don't take that risk because we don't know if, am I 100% qualified for this job? I'm going down the list and I'm not going to be able to hit 3 of these things. Who cares? You got this. Do it. Take the risk. Just be creative. And I think the biggest thing for me was, it's okay to fail, because that's when you learn and you grow and you change right? I mean, if you don't fail and make mistakes, how the heck are you going to learn? So just go out there and do it. And then, I don't know, I think that's what's really helped me. There's been a lot of opportunities in the beginning of my career that I didn't take because I was just scared that I wouldn't be 100% perfect at it. And now I'm like, oh, forget it. Let's just go. And that has changed my career.
That is why Lauren has been San Diego chapter president of Crew right there, you guys. She just said it 100%. You have to go for your goal and you have a support team around you that is there to help you 100%.
And Crew was there, honestly, that's how I got through everything. The sounding board, my community. I mean, I worked for a general contractor for 15 years, and I would call my crewbies, and I would just, oh my gosh, I don't know how to handle this situation. Did I even do this right? I don't even know. I want to just scream at this guy. And they're like, no, you handled it well. Maybe try this. I mean, it's invaluable what Crew has brought to me. So that's why it's so important that we are supporting Crew Inland Empire. We're so excited to be a part of your community now. And it's really awesome. So thank you so much for including us.
Of course, we really appreciate you guys supporting us as well, and you're getting more involved. And so I have one question in the box for you. So when you're going to look at space, do you look at it as a price per square foot, or is it just based upon the type of desks that you buy or chairs? How do you work that out? Because usually when someone thinks of furniture, they think, oh my God, I'm going to spend $30,000 and we don't know what we're going to get. Yeah. So how does that work?
You want me to take this one, Taylor, or you want to take it?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say we can do it either way. So we can do it price per square foot, or what we also do, say if we have a space plan, a furniture floor plan, we can basically count every individual furniture symbol and create a budget based off of that. And we do, I believe now I think we work with maybe 600 to 700 manufacturers. So we have a very, very, very wide range of furniture and costs. So we can really tailor the furniture to, say, a startup company or a multi-million-dollar company that is, a national company. So I think we could do both ways.
I think what's helpful too is sometimes when we have really good relationships with brokers, and sometimes they just want to know a rough budget just off the top of your head, right? Like it's not even, we don't even have a plan to go off of. We have no idea. Sometimes we look at it per person. So if you have 20 people, 50 people, 150 people, sometimes it can range from $3,000 a person. Sometimes we can get to $2,500 a person, but it's a kind of a smaller design component, all the way up to like $5,000 a person. And $5,000 a person is like those law firms with the really heavy, expensive wood. So we don't typically go in that range just from a trends perspective. No one's really kind of going that way anymore. So we like to throw out those budgets as well, just so you can kind of speak to how much it's going to cost. But that's a full space. That's like collaborative areas, installation, tax, workstations. So that's kind of a good budget to go off of. And then at times we do look at square footage. It can range from anywhere from, $18 a square foot all the way up to like 25 at times. And again, it just depends on, we're seeing a lot of trends in patio furnishings that like can dual as meeting areas, workspaces outside. It's kind of like bringing the outside's a new in kind of thing. So those can drive up the cost as well because it's a larger anyway, but we budget off of two things in short.
Okay, that makes sense. Perfect. So we have another question for you. So if a company calls and says, okay, we're ready to get our employees back into the office and we need your help, what are the first steps you take?
We ask them a ton of questions about their culture. So are you a culture, for example, we hit on the life science. Are you a culture that you are essential workers and you need to get essentially all your workers into the space? Are you all about flexibility? Do you value the heads down? So I guess what it's going is the trends are going, if you want heads down work, you just want to get stuff done, work from home. The importance of the office is the collaborative, the meetings, the building the culture, soft skills for incoming generations, things like that. So we ask those questions, and then we develop a plan around that. So if they say, no, we are a lab and we need every single person in here except for our finance team, then that goes into another direction of how we're going to get them back into the space safely. The first thing we would do is look at the plan. So once we have all that information, then we'll look at the plan. Okay, your workstations are 6 feet apart. We can help you with things like, you know, guidelines that say, you know, when you're at your station, you can take off your mask. As soon as you walk up, you put your mask on. We suggest you have hand sanitizer anywhere. So we can help with like the true guidelines that you would essentially tell your employees. So that's just kind of the first things that we do.
Okay. We have another question for you, and I think you might have answered this a little bit already. So many cities look to developers to create a sense of community through the site development in their outdoor space. Do you also work on design and furnishings for the outdoor space? So you did kind of answer this question a minute ago. So
Yeah.
do you do it on a large scale as much as, okay.
So we, one of our targets for 2021 is the real estate market. So we really specialize right now in the amenity spaces that these real estate developers are trying to create. So whether that's outdoor or you know, really cool collaborative spaces in the lobby area where their tenants can meet. But we are seeing a huge trend in redeveloping the outside to accommodate for meetings or people just working out there alone outside in the sunshine. It's just, there's so many benefits. There's a really great book that a designer told me. It's The Space Between Buildings. And it really does talk about the importance of outside and what you can do within with the space in between the buildings, and why we haven't even focused on that, and what we can do moving forward. So we are seeing a huge trend in redoing the outdoor space. But again, not only for like, you know, those Atarac chairs, it goes beyond that. They want technology out there now. They want to be able to have solar where they can plug in their phone or their laptop and work. So it's a huge trend and a huge focus for us this year. Hope that answers your question.
Wonderful. Well, ladies, we want to thank you so much for your time today and giving us the opportunity to get to know you both and learn about Cultura and what you do there. And definitely anyone that's interested, please reach out to Taylor and Lauren. And we thank you for your time. Thank you for supporting Crew Inland Empire. And everybody have a great week. And if you're attending Leadership Summit today and tomorrow, hopefully we'll see you then. Check out our website for our upcoming events. We have some great ones coming up. Everybody have a good day.
Thank you.